Hi there and welcome back. My name is Ayla. I am a life success coach and mentor, and today I want to talk to you about anxiety and what you can actually do about it. Now, this is part 2 of a 2-video series about anxiety. So if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I highly recommend you do before proceeding. I'm going to leave the link to that video in the description down below so you can have a look. First thing is, again, you need to remind yourself that anxiety is not a bad thing. It's not something that we just need to go and fix. It's nothing wrong. It doesn't mean that you failed at anything. It's just calling you to this one thing, to pay attention in the message that is giving you. You're out of alignment. In some way or form, you are out of alignment. The way that you're thinking is not a match to how you want to be, how you want your life to be, and who you actually know to truly be. Whenever anxiety shows up and you look at it this way, you're gonna be fulfilling its purpose. You're gonna be receiving the message. And this is the very first step. So the second step, once we've received this message and once we feel ready, once we actually want to move away and transform that state, is to go directly to the cause, which is our thoughts. Now, this is something very interesting about your mental programming, about your belief systems, your paradigms, your subconscious mind. And it is that we believe that we have a logic. And whenever a problem or something shows up, we start thinking with our logic, believing that is actually thinking. But this is not the case, because this thinking is just being done by your mental programming. It does not mean by any means that is actually the truth of a situation, the truth of yourself. This thinking that shows up is your mental programming. So many times your logic is not really you thinking. It's just your old paradigms just coming and kicking in. It's how you've programmed your life to be, how you've programmed yourself to look at the world, to look at your circumstances and your problems. So this is something to be very aware of, that is gonna make a huge difference in your life if you catch yourself in that act. So how do we change our thoughts then that are causing this anxiety? Well, and this is the key, right? Is this understanding that, first of all, anxiety is not something wrong, it's a message and we need to receive that message. And then secondly, that those worry thoughts, they are not the reality. They're just our mental programming, is how we've trained ourselves to be. And the most important point about this is that probably for most of us is how we've trained ourselves to be by default. It's not like we have given any thought to what thoughts and what beliefs are gonna benefit us. We've just adopted them by default. If our parents thought that, money was hard to come by, this is how our mind was programmed. This belief does not benefit us in any way, and it's definitely not a truth. It's not a global truth, because if not, there wouldn't be people that do have a lot of money and that where they do allow it to come easy to them. So catch yourself in that act of thinking that your logic is the one absolute truth. Bring that awareness, and then now you can actually have the free choice, the free will to choose how you want to think. And this is what's going to change the effect, which is the anxiety. Okay, so for this, we're gonna do a little exercise. Whenever you find yourself in an anxious state, and also do it right now for sure. So get yourself a piece of paper and then write 2 columns. On the left column, write down the title, My Old Programming. And on the right side of the column, write down My New Programming, the new me. So before actually we even get into this, I want to share with you something very valuable that might help you to let go of that grip that you have to your old mental programming. And it is a method created by Byron Katie. I think she's absolutely amazing, and I will link her website down below. She has a bunch of free resources for you to use. So she's developed these 4 questions that I think are incredible for you to question your own thoughts. So first of all is you need to ask yourself, is this true? So is this thought really true? Second, can I absolutely know this is true? So do you know all of the facts in the entire world to know this is definitely true? The third question, how do I react? What happens when I believe this thought? So in this case, for example, would be you get into a state of anxiety. And the fourth question, who would I be without the thought? So what would your life look like if you no longer believe that thought? So you can probably see that in this last question, your life would be liberating. You would see yourself actually doing what you want to do, actually being who you want to be. So I really encourage you to do these questions. They are great for you to start questioning your old programming so you can actually see that it's not the absolute reality. So let's go back to our table with the first column on the left being my old programming and the right column being my new programming, the new me. So on the left, just start writing down all of the anxious thoughts that you have. And then for each one of them, do this 4 questions by Byron Katie so it becomes easier for you to set yourself free from that old mental programming. And then on the other side of the table, write the polar opposite. So here's an example. Let's say if I don't get this job, then my whole career is going to be ruined. Then you question that thought, you notice how you can't possibly absolutely know that this is the truth. And then right on the other side of the table, the polar opposite. So it could look something like, I know and I believe that even though wander closest is probably for my greatest good, and it is because something even better is meant for me. So again, notice how in both cases, you're actually choosing to think and believe something that you don't know yet. The difference is that in your old programming, it doesn't serve you and is actually going to create the results that you don't want in your life. It is also on the right column of the table, it is also making you believe in something that you don't know yet, that you can't see yet, but it serves you. And since we know that our thoughts and our vibration is the cause of our results, if we adopt these thoughts that really do serve us, they're gonna be experienced, they're gonna be expressed in our lives. The third and last step for today, and for you to use at any moment that you feel anxious, is knowing that persistence is a master's ability. What does this mean? It means that you cannot expect yourself to undo, I don't know how many years of mental neurological programming and energetic programming to just snap out of it and all of a sudden never ever experience anxiety. This is actually so unloving towards yourself. It's not compassionate at all. So the key here is for you to have compassion towards yourself and to know that in order to become a master at anything, you're gonna need practice. Think about anyone that is a master in martial arts. They don't get there in a week. They get there through a lot of practice and a daily practice. This is very important. If you don't have a spiritual daily practice in place, this would be definitely like the number 1 thing that you need to get to. And this can be anything that feels good to you. It could be meditation, it could be yoga, it could be visualization, it could be a walking meditation, it could be affirmations, whatever it is. You need a daily spiritual practice to place you back to that place of awareness where you can see your true power, where you can see your true divine right and ability to create your life and to create your state. It's just gonna keep getting so much easier and so much nicer, so much quicker, but it will be something that you have to do every day. And some people go very wrong in this because you get frustrated. You're like, well, here I am again feeling anxious, but it is normal. That's why the anxiety is there, because it's gonna let you know any and every time that you're out of alignment. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. I really hope that you get to apply these things and that they are of value to you. And honestly, if I can leave you with one thing, don't think that anxiety is bad. It's not. It is a message, and it is a very important message. It is just calling you to pay attention to the thoughts that you're choosing because they are out of alignment with the life that you want, with who you truly are, which is an infinite person, an infinite being of divine love and light. And know that this is your right, know that you're totally capable, and start proving to yourself how making small changes in your mental programming, in the thoughts that you choose, can make such a huge difference. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.